Rumbler. Here's the tagline for it. Are you ready?
Yes.
It's Tinder, but for street fighting. Yo, let me tell you about something sick.
Okay, let's hear it.
Dude, this is my favorite story I've read. We are 56 days into 2024. This is my favorite story I've read in 2024. Okay. Have you heard of an app called Rumbler?
I have.
Rumbler. All right.
Rumbler.
There's this advertising company, Von Hughes, now Howler AI.
Okay.
They decided to launch an app, Rumbler, Rumbler. Here's the tagline for it. Are you ready?
Yes.
It's Tinder, but for street fighting. So, what? Dude, hear me out. So here's their landing page, dude. You can see this, right? Casualty free, casual fighting for free. Find and engage with recreational fighters near you for free. Fight or pass. Bro, your face is pissing me off. Want to throw down? Yeah, bro, I'm going to F you up. Cool. Meet me behind the 5th Ave Deli parking lot tonight, 9 p.m. Done. Anonymously choose, dude. Fight on or chat. See locations of nearby fighters. Scope out your opponents with detailed stats.
Bro,
sign up for early access.
It's like the Uber of fighting. It's like,
dude,
I'll show up to your crib or you show up to mine.
Dude, look at this. And they just they chose the best photos. Like this guy, he looks like he's on this app.
Dude, would fight him. I'd hope he's my first fight. Like
yeah, he's clearly amateur level. Okay. So let me tell you more about this. 2015, this company called Von Hughes Marketing, new marketing agency, they wanted to make a dent. And they decided to do a promotion of something, but they didn't know what. And after effing around, they stumbled upon the idea of, it's like, dude, Fight Club in Tinder mixed, you get Rumbler. And so they created this fake landing page. Rumbler's not real. They created all these all this assets, these images and materials, fake testimonies, Twitter posts, handles, the whole thing. They end up getting it on Gawkers, on CNBC, on all the news outlets. They get famous athletes, boxers, to start talking about this thing. And one guy is like, a famous Australian boxer goes, "What a disgrace to the sport." I don't know about any of that, but here's what I do know. They were able to take this idea and get national publicity. And then they decided to launch it November 9th, 2015. The day it launched, you go to the website and it redirects you to their marketing agency. And they say something to the effect, I imagine, of, if we can get this type of publicity out of nothing, out of a company that's not even real, imagine what we can do for you.
Oh,
I don't know if they use that language. I don't know if they actually use the language I just made up. I hope they did. But sure. I would imagine to an extent, this is what they do. And dude, I'll tell you, the media outlets, an uproar. The community, outrage. Everybody thought this thing was real. I thought it was real until I started researching it. But what a brilliant concept, huh?
Dude, that's sick. I mean, I love the idea right off the bat. I was just thinking about this dude that's in my local town. He's kind of influential with wrestling and fitness and whatnot. And so he's hosting a throwdown at the local gym. They have this grass pad in the top deck. So you go to the roof and he's going to get some wrestling mats out there and he's calling people out. He's like, "You think you could beat me up or you could take me? Let's wrestle." And so he just made that post the other day. And I was like, this would be perfect. Like, drop it in the app, dude. Like, anybody nearby,
dude, that's one thing. Here's what I love. I just love how there is an infinite, unlimited ways to make money out there. And if you can be a little bit of creative and find something in your niche, dude, it's unbelievable what you can do.
Yeah, you just need Young Jock to host a party. He could play
Dude.
that song, "Meet Me at the Mall." It's going
Dude,
down.
exactly. That's it.
You know,
That's it. Yeah,
hit a little bit of that, get a buzz going. I thought that was a real thing. Like,
I did too.
and what would be sick is like, imagine you can stream in live and they get drones watching it and they go from one fight to another. Like, you got multiple neighborhoods duking it out.
Bro, yeah. I mean, now there is a market for underground street fighting. There is.
Yeah.
Like, UFC used to be underground. You remember those days?
Oh yeah, dude. I love watching some of those clips. You get like a massive bodybuilder versus some like skinny jujitsu dude, you know, or like it's just crazy. The mismatches were insane and they were so fun to watch.
That was the best part, dude, when you get a 14-year karate champion and then just some fat guy.
Yeah, exactly. Some guy trying to use like the energy of the sun to knock you out, and then you just come through with like hammer fists.
A haymaker, dude. Career. Yeah, you just sit on them, bro. It's great. It's everybody loves those.
That's so cool. So, okay, back to like the business plot of this. Like, I really do like the idea of coming up with a proof of concept that's so outside the box just to showcase your abilities. Like, that's so clever. And so, like, using that as a marketing tactic and a ploy, especially to get a buzz of like local news stations and even national news stations. That's brilliant. So have these guys, what have they gone on to do? Do we know anything about that, or do we need to keep researching?
Well, I looked them up and it looks like they haven't done much. Actually, their Twitter handle still says, "You probably know us from Rumbler."
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, dude, that was 10 years ago now. Damn.
I wonder what happened.
One hit wonders.
Like, do you think? Okay. Do you think they just didn't think through the next steps after that, or like I guess what would all the hype be for if they didn't have a strategy following up with it?
You know, there's a lot of people out there that come up with amazing, brilliant ideas one time, but to run a business, you know this more than anybody else, it doesn't matter how good you are one time. It matters that you show up every single day and just inch the business along. And this is something that I feel like you're actually good at. I was going to tell you this, which is, I feel like the difference between you and I a little bit, I'll burn hot, dude, and I'll get into something and I'll just dive in and I'll work on it for, I don't know, call it 6 months, a year straight. And then I'll slowly kind of like fizzle out a little bit more. Maybe not. More than the average person, maybe. Whereas I feel like with you, you're definitely, do you feel this way, that you're more slow and consistent? You'll hit rhythms and strides, but I feel like you'll hit a burst, you'll cool off, and then you'll burst again, you'll cool off. But you're like, over a period of a year, you're consistent.
I think that's accurate. But like in the day-to-day, I do feel inconsistent. But like, it's just, I don't know. I think it's personality types. I took this quiz recently, and it merges not only zodiac signs, but Eastern religion, the moon.
Okay, here we go.
Like the temperature when you were born, where the stars aligned. My wife's a psychologist. She downloaded this app. She's like, you got to do it. So I did it. You pay for the report. Dude, it describes like who you are to a freaking T. It's so crazy. She was reading it to me. I'm like, that's me. Yep, I do that. Oh yeah, like it breaks down how you deal with problems, how you process things. So I think it comes down to, how do you process different opportunities or stressors in your life? And for me, I'm very impulsive. Like, I love to be spontaneous, but it's in the moment and when I know that I have full control. The moment that I know I'm stepping into something that's going to require a lot of moving parts or a lot of consistency or a lot of commitment, that I don't know if my future self is ready to tackle that yet, I take a lot of time to process stuff. So I'll literally get a problem, like a problem will show up to me, or an opportunity. And if it feels right, I know, like my gut tells me, yes, start working on it. And another check mark is like, can I add this into my day-to-day already? Like, is this just something I can just plug right in? Like, boop, it's there. And so if I could do that, then I'll stay consistent with it. But if it's something that's more of like just a big decision, whether it's a big business move or you're starting a new company or doing something, dude, I let that marinate as long as possible.
Really?
And I visualize it. I kind of go through like a visualization exercise where in my downtime throughout the day, I think about it. and I start researching it, and I just start going with what feels right. So a lot of my decisions and how I work on things is all based on how I feel. And I know that that's kind of like, it might not sound appealing to the guys who believe that don't listen to your feelings or emotions, just stay consistent and just grind it out. But I've done enough of that in the past, and I realized that it never fully it never fully progressed me where I wanted to go. I felt like I was just scratching an itch by just like trying to bulldoze through uncomfortable feelings I would get, or where it just wouldn't sit right with me. So I think I process things differently. And whenever I do make a decision to commit to something, I always try to bring other people in with me to do it.
Yeah.
Because I know
That's interesting. Why is that?
dude, I know that something else will catch my attention, or my prior commitments will come back around and remind me that they're important, and it'll distract me from the new thing that I'm going after. But if I get somebody else just as bought in as I am to it, they're excited now. And maybe, they're more of your personality type where you'll just freaking hammer down for 6 months straight. So if I can get you fired up, Devin, and I know you're going to go on a rampage for 6 months, I just need to get that spark going. And then now I can process it and really think through like how it fits into my life and what it'll grow into. And then I'll just keep, pushing that flywheel that you're spinning with, with these different ideas, or try this, or let's do this. So that's kind of how I'm processing stuff. And how I can just stay consistent, like with my businesses and other things. It's just a culmination of my own personality, what feels right, and then casting a vision and getting other people excited about it.
Yeah. Well, doubling down on two things you said there, because the first one is Y Combinator, which is the big venture capital firm in California. They rarely invest in single person businesses because they're less likely to succeed. Whereas they know if it's a partner or three, they're going to do far more work because there is that accountability in place. Just like this podcast. I'm prepared for this podcast on this day, this week, every day, because I know that you're doing the same. And I don't want to let you down. I'm more okay with usually letting myself down on things, but not other people. That's just a personality trait of myself. So I would imagine you have kind of a similar thing. But then also back to your point about spending time on it and in investing and not focusing on the grind, but focusing on the actions. You and I now think differently about things, which was a word I was going to talk about, which is scale. For example, you and I could go out and we could get a real estate license and door knock doors and sell 10, 20, 30, 40 homes a year or whatever it is. But we know that the minute we stop working, the business stops moving. And then we think, okay, well, now we could actually go out. Let's say I didn't want to do all the lead generation. I could hire a couple assistants or people to help me do all the door knocking. I could go out and I could find a couple agents to build a company around that does all of it. And I take less, but there's more opportunity and scale. Or you could do what you did, which was you open a 200-300 person real estate brokerage and you have everybody that's out working, producing, and then you take a smaller piece of that. And so now, even if you stop working, those guys are still doing their role. And I think about this now with every single business I make, like, for example, my software company, CMA Every Day. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. 3 months ago, I thought to myself, okay, we're starting to finish the product. The software itself is almost done. Now we need to sell it. We need to do sales demos. We need to meet with people. And at first I thought to myself, kind of like what I did was, okay, well, I could get on the phone with them. I could tell them about it, probably sell to my database, make good income from doing that. But then I thought, well, I'm never going to get to 25,000 users by me meeting with everybody individually. That's impossible. And I don't need the money from making a couple sales right now. I don't even need it. And so what I thought was, okay, well, what do I need? I need a sales director who can go out, build, train, and hire 25 sales reps that every single day are pounding the phones, doing the follow-up, and doing sales demos for this software. And that alone, it's definitely going to probably burn more cash, but That's within 12 months. Imagine we have 25 people selling. And even if, like, dude, here's the way I think about it now. Even if I'm 10 times as good as these guys, if there's 25 or 50 or 100 of them, they're still going to outsell me 20 to 50x. And I'm not the one who's putting in all the work. And so new entrepreneurs start to think, they think about this as, how do I hire somebody and just like replace myself? But now you and I think, well, how do we hire somebody that's just better than we are at this thing? We don't even need to learn the skill. I don't know how to be a general manager of a climbing gym. I could guess, but I don't know. But what did I do is I hired a general manager and I paid him.
Yeah. I mean, the scalability.
Sorry to steal the combo there. I mean, that's
no, dude. That's exactly what you should do, and I think it's because you approached you approached this business from a different perspective than that of a real estate agent and a hustler, and it comes down to, it's like, when you work for yourself, especially in a commission-based job, like, you know that everything relies on you, and you don't have like the examples of, if you go sell a house, Deb, and you get let's call it a $10,000 commission check. Well, I'll have 100 agents go sell a house and I'll get a few $100 off each sale. Right. And so how frequent can I get a drip? And so when you're working for yourself, a lot of times you're so dependent on that. And so everything's riding on it. It's got to be you. You're the one that needs to be involved in everything, because it can't fail. Because if the people you bring on aren't successful, dude, you don't get paid. And so, now your rock climbing gym, for instance, dude, that's a subscription-based model. Yeah, sure, it's brick and mortar. You got to have people managing it. But if you just look at it from the perspective of, let's just get a pricing sheet together, make a social media account, open the doors and say, come on in. Now you have regular reoccurring money, and the stress isn't on you to go produce, Devin. It's on the business to operate as it should.
Yeah.
So look at it from that perspective and think, okay, what does a business that operates effectively have? What are some of the key pieces? You probably got a manager, and then you got employees. So you got people at the front counter that are just making sure everybody's good to go, great experience. And then you got the manager making sure everything's doing what they're supposed to be doing and they have what they need to be successful. And that doesn't involve you. Now, you could totally be a manager. You could totally be the employee there. But it's like the path to success in a brick and mortar such as that, it's just easy to conceptualize who goes where.
Yeah.
In real estate, it's very vague. And so that's where you get like these celebrity real estate agents. Like, dude, if I was living in California in Beverly Hills, and selling $1 million real estate, like, I wouldn't need a team really, because the commission checks are so dang big. You could virtually just run it by yourself and be successful.
Yeah. Well, you live in Kansas City, Missouri. It's a little bit different price point.
Absolutely. So I got to go volume. I got to go big. And one thing I've always thought about whenever I was starting in real estate is, I said, damn, I don't want this all to be depending on me, because I know, like, just human traits, I'm probably not going to excel at this for the long term, So I kept thinking to myself, how do I outsource my day-to-day activities that generate revenue to the lowest dollar employee? Like, each task I'm doing to generate revenue, could I pass that along to a minimum wage employee? And so I tried to make a decision based on everything I did early on was, okay, this is for, someone minimum wage. Okay, this one's for someone minimum wage. And now the business is moving forward without me necessarily being at the office on time, those kind of things. It's just a different beast.
It is a different beast. It reminds me of, Kristen came home the other day and she goes, and she's not too in the entrepreneurial world. I mean, she has a charcuterie business and makes cute flowers and grapes and stuff, but it's slightly different. It's more cute and artsy, but she does well with it. She comes home and she's like, hey, this guy like on YouTube, Hormozy, was talking about Warren Buffett. And I was just like, both of these names are people I listen to, subscribe to their ideas. And I was like, go on. Like, what are you about to say? And she said, the quote was from Warren Buffett: if you find yourself in a leaky ship, instead of spending all of your time patching the holes, your energy is best spent finding a new boat, a new ship. And I thought about that like real estate companies, real estate brokerages. The margins on real estate brokerages are abysmal at best. The time and energy and headaches that come from real estate brokerages are extraordinarily high. We're dealing with such a high ticket item, houses, that when one thing goes wrong, it's a minimum of a $10,000 to $50,000 cost. I mean, if you buy a house and you find out the plumbing's fucked, there's no cheap fix. And typically agents are the first people to be blamed, whether it's true or false. And so now thinking about, we are in a niche, in a field that has low margins, has problematic customer base, potentially. It's very litigative. No, a lot of liability. Litigious. Thank you. It's very litigious, and also it requires an extraordinarily high skill set for somebody to be successful in. Whereas if you're working, like you said, at the front desk of a climbing gym or at the counter of Zara, a retail outlet, the effort it takes to run that is very little compared to the skills required is low compared to a real estate agency. And so we talked about this, is our boat doesn't have a lot of room for growth, and there isn't this tailwind behind us where real estate is growing at this exponential rate. It's very slow, which is what it's meant to be. And so sometimes I wonder, if I had spent the last 10 years learning media, programming, who knows, an industry that has more of a tailwind and not a headwind, where would we be right now? Perhaps nowhere, who knows? But choosing that boat is something that a lot of people don't think about. And if you're just jumping into a career, it's a scary career to jump in unless you know for a fact that's what you want to do. But I think we have grander goals. I know we do.
Yeah, dude, I think about what's helped me progress so quickly and get over some of those early setbacks is that I did everything in my power to move as fast as possible. Like taking action, getting after it, like failing as fast as you can is so important. And I want to share with you real quick this guy by the name of Ben Francis. Have you heard of Ben Francis?
Mm-mm. Do tell.
Not only is he one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world, he started a clothing line business and freaking dominated. It's called Gymshark. You heard of them?
Oh, Gymshark, dude. Yeah. Isn't he a billionaire?
Yeah.
Can make it?
Man, this guy, 19 years old. I just looked him up a little bit. He didn't just like magically start Gymshark and it just like took off. You know what I mean? And this relates to kind of our early starts with like just dabbling in entrepreneurship and whatnot. And, you know, something that you're talking about is like failing or just getting past hurdles or realizing you're in the wrong vehicle, realizing you're in the wrong boat. And so, you know, a little bit about Ben Francis, is that he started out like dabbling with apps. He liked fitness. So he's like, okay, I'm a teenage kid, probably just got out of high school. And he started developing apps, and he started a fitness app, and he did like 3 others. The other 3 flopped, and his fitness one did all right. And so he was playing around with that. He said, okay, let me try to build more of a community. So he started a community website, got to a few thousand members, but nothing was really coming from it. And throughout that app and throughout the website, he would do drop shipping of supplements. So he didn't have to warehouse any supplements. He would just be the middleman, right?
Yeah.
So pretty smart kid, just dabbling in stuff, trying to piece it all together. Well, in 2000, like right around 2012-ish, he started a website called Gymshark. He went from his other fitness website to Gymshark. And, you know, he ordered some clothes that were fitness related from the United States. He's over in, I think in the UK or something like that. And he's like, nothing fits right. Like nothing, like you have Nike, you have like Adidas, you have Reebok, but like there's nothing that's for like the lifters and for fitness people. So he started as simple as this. He asked like his family members, how do you sew? How do you knit? He like reached out to people. How do you screen print? Like all of these basic skills that go into like building a clothing brand. He just started from scratch just by being curious and just going for it. And
Yeah.
so, dude, and he started the company, and I think it really took off for him after 2 years of really, just working out the kinks. There was this fitness expo he attended. And this goes down to like, dude, get your idea off the ground as fast as possible and then find an outlet to put it in front of people. And I think he was really early on with the influencer trend. And it looked like in 2014, he went to this gym expo. He hit up a bunch of different bodybuilders or influencers on Instagram and other social media accounts. And he said, hey, come by my booth. I'd love for you to sponsor this out and help me get Gymshark out there. Well, dude, he didn't think anybody would show up. He didn't think, his heroes that he watches online would actually be excited about what he's doing. Dude, but they showed up. And, and from that moment forward, dude, he had a brand and something that people were getting behind, open up into women's apparel. And then one thing that was really neat here is that I heard in like 2016. So, from the expo in 2014 to about 2016, he realized, dude, I'm in my early 20s. I shouldn't be running this business because sales started to increase, dude. They're making a lot of money. He removed himself as CEO and brought somebody else in.
What a legend. What a legend, dude. The ego he let go of to do that.
Dude, and what's crazy is that, so he just jumped in other avenues. He's director of marketing, director of this. And he just wore different hats and just built up, his knowledge of how to run different departments and piece things together. And then back in, I think in 2020 is when they had their massive uptick in sales. They grew by 58% in that year. The COVID year. He ended up coming back in as CEO in I think 2021, something like that. But dude, think about how intimidating that has to be to jump into an industry as saturated as clothing, gym apparel, and then just freaking dominate. Dude, they're over $1 billion valuation. He didn't have any outside investment capital until the 2020s, somewhere around there. I think somebody got 21% of his business, an investment group. And so, dude, it's just I wonder if he was thinking it would turn into that. But man, this kid was ambitious and just
he definitely hoped, but you don't know. Yeah.
It's just a testament to dude, your first app isn't going to be it. Your first website probably is going to be it. But you just got to keep plugging and trying and just chasing trends. I think when you realize you're in the right boat is whenever you see a gap in the market. And I don't think people were pushing influencers as hard. And I just noticed, dude, I just remember through 2016 and on, everybody was pumping Gymshark. And everybody had affiliate links. That's one thing right there I want to bring up in this call.
Yeah.
Affiliate links, bro. That's how you supercharge your sales force. Get an army of affiliates out there pushing your product. Man, that's a game changer. We're launching that at my brokerage and we're doing other things. And we're noticing the people who sign up for this affiliate program are just stoked to be a part of it and to grow and then to receive compensation for helping out.
Wow.
So affiliates are definitely a way to fast track some things.
That's cool. Did I ever mention the Amazon affiliate link thing? What I just learned about it? I do want to learn about your brokerage. You can tell me that off topic, but Amazon in whatever year decided to allow third-party vendors like Walmart and Target and Best Buy to sell their products on Amazon's website. Everybody said that was the stupidest thing of all time. Amazon is an idiot, blah, 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 blah. And dude, that one change that allowed third-party sellers on Amazon is what made it so Amazon was the everything store. And so now all these huge companies have to sell through Amazon. Otherwise, they're not even going to sell.
Okay.
And so everybody said it was a dumb move, but it turned out to be one of the best decisions they've ever made.
Dude,
it's crazy.
Amazon's ridiculous with everything. Dude, they just fucking go for it. Jeff is fearless. Jeff Bezos does. I love watching the clips of him early on and his just cluttered little
dude, it's amazing, right? It's inspiring.
It's so cool. It is.
Yeah.
It really is. No, that's awesome. I didn't know they did that. That's really cool.
I've been realizing this trend that, and something I've been thinking about is when you run a company, you kind of have two options. You can continuously reinvest the profits back into the company to make it better in one way, shape, or form, or you can cash out. You can just take that money and just fucking run and go to the beach and buy your yacht or do whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think enough people think this way, which is your company needs to serve a customer to the highest possible level and at whatever cost. And Amazon said, well, does third-party sellers make the customer experience better? Yes, it does. It gives them more options. Let's do it. And I'm realizing with my rock climbing gym, because last year I pulled out some cash, but we didn't reinvest it. I mean, we reinvested a ton, but not as much as we could have back into the company.
Right.
And so this year we've decided we're going to put it all back in because it's like, I want people to be happy. But if you just spend a decade reinvesting your money to make your product as good as possible and your customers as happy as possible, dude, it's going to be hard to compete with you on that.
Mm-hmm. Dude, you're a juggernaut. I mean, I think that's what makes Elon Musk so freaking deadly with his businesses. Like, dude is ruthless, was putting all chips in.
All
when
chips
he's in on
in,
something, dude, full shove. Like, he doesn't need a house. Like, what do I need a house for? Like, you know?
Oh,
and
I
so,
love that, dude.
It is, man. It's smart. And something that I've always done that. Like, for some reason, by default in my business, I keep spending the money like right before I'm about to get it. Like, I spend it. I sign up for this coaching thing. I sign up for this subscription thing. I buy this stuff for my office. I reinvest into leads. I hire people, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then I look at my P&L and I'm like, okay, wow. I never thought I was even ever going to make this much money, let alone spend it on a monthly basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm like, what would it look like if I just would have kept it? And then I think, and I take a step back and I look at my businesses and I look at the buildings that I have, and I'm like, I wouldn't have all this if I didn't do that. So I just keep pushing it forward. I'm delayed gratification, I think, is a good way to summarize that.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at it. I'm like, I don't care. I'm having fun. Like, as long as I'm having fun and I'm hanging out with my bros and like I got good people around me, like stressful things happen. I get it. And that's part of it. I deal with that all the time. But it comes back to like processing, how you process things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just understand how I process problems and whatnot. So I'm okay with delayed gratification. As long as I can, support my quality of life.
Yeah.
I don't like to go cheap whenever I like living expenses and stuff like that. Like, if I want to eat Uber Eats every single night, I will. Like, you can't tell me to budget. I just won't listen to you like on those things. But in my business, dude, I'm always pushing it back in. That's just how I roll.
Same. Yeah. To our detriment, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that's why you have a 300-person brokerage and why I have one of the number one teams in Hawaii. It's what it is.
Exactly that. Yeah. 100%. It's so true.
That's the thing about a profitable business. If you wanted to maintain profitability, you probably should keep reinvesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a power move because, dude, I look at my competitors and what's funny, like, I'll just take you on this little journey. It's quick, man. I just think, like, from an individual agent, I was competing with other agents in my office. And then I started to get a name for myself. And then now it was like, oh, I teamed up with my buddy and now we're making videos, creating some noise. Now we got other teams and other individual agents outside of my office, like kind of wondering what's going on with these guys? What are they doing? And then we started growing our brokerage and they're like, now we have these bigger teams that are like, who are these guys? And then we just like, dude, we keep growing so quickly and we lead with profit in every avenue of my business that, dude, I'm not making bad deals. And so I just keep doubling down, doing more. So not only putting in sweat equity, but I'm putting in some equity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
I do.
So, dude, and then now it's like those teams are irrelevant. Now I'm recruiting those teams to my office. The teams that were like, oh, you guys are. And then, dude, now I'm looking at big brokerages and I'm talking to some big brokerages. And they're like, what are you guys doing over there? How can I get in on that? And I'm, so it's like, dude, just reinvesting and doubling down as long as you're committed. And you got to have the right people around you too. Cause like you mentioned, like investors are hesitant towards investing in individuals because of that variable. Oh, something I heard that was kind of funny along the lines of having other people around you. They always say, like, when you have kids or you leave them home alone, you never want to leave one by themselves because that could be dangerous. But sometimes it's okay if you trust them. Definitely not two. You do not want to have two kids alone by themselves because if one of them's like a shithead, he'll influence the other one, dude, and they'll get in some mischief. You need to have at least three together because one of them, the two of them might be wiser,
Yeah.
and convince the shithead to like not get into trouble. So you're better off having 3 home because one of them will talk the group out because majority vote, you know?
Yeah, bro. You and I are gonna end up with 3 shitheads, dude. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. You know, that's kind of what happened to me in high school a little bit.
All right,
But
I want to go through some just a couple marketing and shit that works.
cool.
All right. At High Climb, we realized, and we knew this, that the number one source of new members to our facility, to our gym, are friends of friends or friends. You come and climb. We have what's called the Buddy Pass program where you can bring in your friend for free. No pay. First time visitor free pass. This month, and so we have, call it on average of about 300 first time visitors a month that are buddy passed in, meaning their friends bring them in. They don't have to pay anything. It's free. Those are also what we're guessing is the highest source of new members. Let's say we get 300 first time visitors in a month. We might get 30 to 50 of those that sign up for a membership. That's not bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm rolling out this promotion I want to tell you about called Be a Buddy Raffle, where every time you bring in one of your friends, you get a raffle ticket. You put it in this big piggy bank. There's a gong on the table, like a gong. And you get to bang the gong, you put it in, and if at the end of the month we announce a shit ton of prizes, you might get a free a yearly membership. Who knows what you get if you win.
Oh, that's sick.
And so every time you bring someone in, you are rewarded. And normally you can only bring in one person per day at the most, because you don't want someone bringing in like 5 people at once. But we upped it. We said now you can bring in 60 first-time visitors a month for free, up to 60. Right, which is pretty huge. And so our big campaign this month is Be a Buddy. Bring in your friends for free. They don't pay. And you get a chance to win all kinds of cool gear or a free membership for a year. And so my goal is to go from 300 on average new first-time visitors to 600 to 900 with this raffle. And doing this kind of goes back to what you were just saying is in business, there are an unlimited amount of activities that you as a CEO can do. You could spend your time training agents. You could spend your time recruiting. I could spend my time doing promotion campaigns. Who knows what? Renegotiating leases. It's like you can spend your time doing anything. And it's all work. It's all good for the business. But here's the thing. Some shit is just better. Some shit just leads to way more revenue, dude. I could be cleaning the toilets, but that's not going to make us a whole lot more money.
Right.
Doesn't mean I won't. But what you said with your brokerage was, and you told me this, you focused on recruiting. You said, what is the one thing that's just going to drive more revenue than anything else? And you told me this early on. You're like, dude, you need to hire a recruiter. Somebody comes in. They wake up every day. They come to your office and they recruit and they bring in more producing agents. And that is your guys' highest and best skill use. And so I thought, well, what is mine? Mine is I need to help this company get more members. How do we get more members? We run promotion campaigns. How do we do that? Who do we target? Well, I know that the highest, best person is somebody that's a referral. Let's fucking triple our referrals. And so we launched this in 5 or 6 days. I'm pretty stoked about it. I'll let you know how it goes.
Hell yeah. Dude, that's sick. I love little gimmicks like that.
The gong, dude, the auditory, like it's a constant reminder because we're going to be banging that thing 20 times a day throughout this gym. And I already know it's just every time you hear that gong, it's like, oh, I should invite a friend. And I think that audible reinforcement, and it's very visual, is going to just help us skyrocket.
Yeah, bro. It's the Pavlov's dogs. The old psychology trick. You're just classical conditioning. That's what you're doing. Dude, I love the idea you're testing some things out. Like, we've dabbled with like, how do we multiply our efforts in recruiting when it comes to growing the brokerage? And we tried a bunch of different things where it's like, if you bring on someone, Devin, and you're an agent at my office, we'll waive your monthly fees, right? For life, no monthly fees.
Wow.
And then you'll also get a piece of the commission every time they close a deal. Like we roll out different things, 5 for life, 0 for life, affiliate programs, all these different things. And we usually do them in like 30, 60, or 90-day stints. I try not to make anything indefinite, just because I don't want to lose that revenue side of my business altogether.
Sure.
But I want to create a little bit of momentum in the right direction. So, dude, I think that's awesome that you're doing that. 60 members, though. That's a month? You could bring in up to 60 a month?
You can bring up to 60 free people a month, 60 guests. Yeah.
At once? Is there a cap per
2 a day. 2 a day.
Okay. So
yeah, you can't bring in like 50 people at one time. Yeah. Every day you bring in 2 people for free. They don't have to pay a penny, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's what they do get. They have to be given a tour. It's called the safety tour, but really it's a sales demo. We also educate them on safety and how to be careful.
Sure.
But dude, we sell it, man. All right. Hopefully they sell it. But we walk them through and we tell them all the benefits about climbing and how much yoga we have and workout equipment and our schedule. And it's the whole thing packaged as a safety tour that's required, which it is. But really, it's like, yo, let me show you the features and benefits.
Dude, no, that's awesome. I love that. You know, we would do at my brokerage, I love hosting events. And this is just like a core part of who I am. Because, dude, back in high school,
events,
I threw fucking bangers, dude. Like, I had, if you need to know where to find the party, you just find me. Like, it was either at my house or at my buddy's house. Like, we'd go find an empty field, kegger, get the bonfire going. Like, I always loved bringing people together and just, like, that was always so much fun. And so in business, I'm like, how could I mimic that? And I just figured a lot of real estate agents love networking and masterminding and just learning new ways to grow their business. So we would always host free events. And when I first launched my business, it's all about like the hustle early on and the sweat equity you put in. We did a mastermind every single week. Like every week, new topic, new 20 people in the door. Like that was my recruiter's mission. Like fill that freaking room up. And so like whatever you can do just to bring energy into the environment, like as the leader, like you have to require, that's like, it has to happen. It brings life. Because without that, dude, you're just kind of just wandering around through the building like, no, this is all right. And then you kind of get slapped in the face a little bit like, oh, problem here, this and that. And like, there's no new energy into it. So you're living off the high of yesterday's wins and you're dealing with today's problems.
That's
and
nice.
Bro, that creates like this upset, anxious energy in your business. But if I got a freaking rager right around the corner, like I have a problem shows up today, but I got a badass happy hour I'm hosting tonight, and I know I got a bunch of people coming out. That problem's not so bad anymore. It's not so bad. Yeah, I just got to get it off my plate so that it doesn't run into my fun time where I'm recruiting, hanging out, and growing my brand.
Wait, dude, let me tell you a story about you because this cracked me up. Do you know what I'm about to say?
I don't know. I probably we'll see.
2 years ago, you're like, dude, you got to start recruiting. I was like, well, maybe blah, 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 all kinds of bullshit. And I see a video on your Instagram, and it's some chick, a couple chicks actually, I think, in like racing suits, and they have racing flags, the checkered flag. And David is going into real estate offices with, I don't even know if you're going. Are you going?
I was actually out of town. I was out of town that time. Yeah. But
so David hires these young, pretty girls that are wearing these one-piece suits that are racing suits, and they go into these brokerages and they just start recruiting agents and telling them about the events you're doing.
Yep. Well, so they were actually, we had them. Yeah. Well, we had them dropping in on real estate events. So we weren't as crazy to go like into a Keller Williams office. Like I wasn't like at Remax with them. Like, I'm like in a Ricky Bobby suit and they're chasing behind me. Like it wasn't that crazy. But
love that.
Yeah, dude. No, like
you go to like masterminds where a bunch of agents are.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow.
Free game, dude. Alcohol served there. It's a chilled back environment. Like let's roll through with the pit crew. Like why not? You know, let's get you that first class ticket. Well,
Dude,
you know, I run first class real estate.
I love a
So
good
like,
gimmick. I love a good gimmick, dude.
always, dude, it's just like it brings life to the business. You have to be. I had gimmicks for everything when I got started.
Yeah.
If you were renting, dude, well, how about this, Devin? I'll put you on my 12 steps to home ownership program. How about that? And you're like, well, what's that, David? I'm like, well, there's 12 months in a year. You probably signed a 12-month lease. I got a step for every month. That's let's go. Like,
that's great. That's great.
You know,
send you a
just
pizza, yeah.
like, so, you know, I like those kind of things just get me excited, and they don't cost you any extra money.
No.
Like creativity, courage, and putting yourself out there doesn't cost you a freaking dime, you know?
Yeah.
But it helps you build everything you're wanting to get.
Dude, it's our gimmick that we're going to try to launch, which is every new subscriber will do something. So whether it's we'll buy every new subscriber a pizza or who knows what.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's fun, dude. It's memorable.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think that's a big piece to it is, you know, because I think about whenever I'm in grind mode and I'm just like head down in business and I'm not doing these fun things. When I go to like hang out with my friends, dude, I'm pretty boring. They're like, oh, what's new, David? I'm like, oh, just same old, you know? But whenever I have these crazy things going on, dude, I'm so excited to like share them and talk about it. And like other people are excited to hear about it too, because they're like, you're doing what? Like you just tried that. So, dude, it's good stuff.
Dude, I want us to do a whole episode, maybe next week if you're down, on gimmicks. Best business gimmicks.
Oh boy.
We can do a little bit of research on it too, and just we can find the top 3 or 4 of all time, because I already have a couple off the top of my head. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I was thinking of, I told my agent this morning. He's selling this pretty nice house. I said, dude, I need you to go knock on every neighbor's door holding an empty pizza box. And when you open it, it's a picture of the listing and it says, if you buy this house, I'll give you free pizza for a year. I did the math, $15 for 52 weeks of pizza, $15 a pizza, $720 that in free pizza in the gift card. You could probably get Papa John's or Little Caesars to partner with you and pay for half. But it's not the pizza that's going to get them to buy the house. It's a conversation. It's a talking point that gets you in the door to potentially working with them. And
I didn't realize that a year's worth of pizza was so affordable. like, hell yeah, dude. I'm gonna get pizza every week. That's not so bad.
Yeah. Dude, you down next week?
That'd be fun. I'm game.
Okay. Gimmicks. Best gimmicks of all time. I love that, dude.
That'd be good. I love that. So, talk about a lot. Choosing the right boat.
Right boats, dude.
Patching holes versus just abandoning ship and jumping in a new boat. What are some other markets that are like you think are saturated and you can't get into them, but you see people like literally new brand, new product blowing up? Like, what are some things that come to mind?
Give me a second to think on that. That's a great question. So you're saying, what are some companies that are excelling in what seems to be a old or a saturated market?
Yeah. I mean, think about like sports drinks.
Oh, dude, Prime. Thank you. Did you feed me that? Is that what you're trying to do here? Because I wanted to talk about that.
I'm kind of like, I was thinking about athletic gear, all of that stuff. And then I think about, you know, the beverage industry and like, you're going to compete with Pepsi, with Gatorade.
Dude, I love that, dude. Fucking taking down a whale. All right. I think I briefly told you this, but let me give you the whole background. 50 Cent, the rapper. First of all, I think that guy's been shot 9 times and still alive. That's amazing. Good for him.
Yep.
He started a company with some co-founders called Vitamin Water. Now, I know I can't say this for certainty, and I don't know all the details, but I can tell you that 50 Cent probably wasn't testing mixes of flavors of Vitamin Water. 50 Cent was the face. So these guys probably came up with Vitamin Water, which is a great brand name, by the way. Like, Vitamin Water? How was that not taken?
Bro, when I was hungover, Vitamin Water. That's what I grabbed. Yep.
That's what and it's full of sugar. It's probably not even that good.
I didn't know what was in it.
You don't know. It says vitamin, dude. Come on. So these guys come in, they partner with 50 Cent, and 50 Cent, he has such a big audience. He's in video games, movies, and music. Like, what else do you want, dude? And he starts pushing vitamin water. Vitamin water in 2006 sells to Coca-Cola for $1.2 billion. Okay? So that means, and that same year, they did $350 million of revenue, which means they sold for a 3.5x revenue. They did $350 million in revenue. They sold for 3.5x that. Prime Sports Drinks, the fastest growing company, if not now, if not ever, it's up there, is going to make Logan Paul and KSI, the YouTubers, billionaires. Because check this out. Vitamin Water did $350 million in revenue. Prime, do you know how much they did?
No clue.
$1.2 billion in revenue.
Whoa.
Which
Wow.
means at a 3.5x, they're now worth, what's that, $4 billion?
Yeah.
And it's still growing.
I feel like they're just getting started.
Dude, right? Because you've been seeing it everywhere, right?
Yeah, definitely. I know, like, my
And
buddy has
so-
kids, and they're all about it, you know?
Dude, it's crazy. And so Logan Paul and KSI each own 20% of the company, which means they own, of a $4 billion company, they own right now $800 million worth. I don't know this for a fact, but Kim Kardashian and Khloe Kardashian, they were influencers, content creators that started their own brands, Skims and makeup and other stuff, and they became billionaires by just starting a company and using their personal brand to sell that company. I'm guessing that Logan Paul and KSI are going to be billionaires by doing the same process. And this trend of content creators start taking a product and pairing it with famous people and content creators on YouTube is going to be a thing. And they're going to be some of the first billionaires to ever do it.
Dude, yeah. You can see it playing out right in front of your eyes, obviously. Like, from Vine to them getting a name for themselves to being a little controversial. And then now, like, this stunt with boxing and really getting their names out there. And then you got Logan Paul that's, doing the wrestling and all that stuff. And you know who watches wrestling? Kids.
Oh.
And you know who also watches wrestling? Diehards. People that, like, dude, when they got their person, that's their person. They will do everything to be just like them. I don't know if you were like me growing up, dude, but I had walkout songs when I'd go play on the trampoline with my buddies. And I was acting
That's
like
awesome.
I was Stone Cold Steve Austin, dude.
Yeah.
And I was tackling everybody on the trampoline. And, like, we'd have, like, live wrestling matches. And so you just think about, like, obviously Stone Cold was smashing beers. Like, I couldn't do that. So I would just go grab my Gatorade and just start freaking showering it on myself. But dude, if Stone Cold Steve Austin had Prime energy drinks or Prime whatever, I would have been all over that.
Yeah.
So I just think, dude, it's such a good blend of just, like, awareness and timing, and for them to be able to, like, create something like that. It, like, really is like it, and just like the guy, with Gymshark. He was essentially a nobody, right? But he used a good product and the right influencers to push his brand out. So over time, it built momentum. These guys are already in the spotlight. So it's just like, it's neat to see all that come together. I didn't know they were selling that much, though. That's a lot.
I like that you called it neat. I like that you called a $4 billion company neat.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. Yeah.
You just look at who's doing it, man, and you just know that it's totally possible.
Yeah.
That's what makes it neat. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I want to share one more thing, a revelation I've had recently. As you know, I've started growing my YouTube channel, my TikTok, Instagram channels.
Yeah.
And I'm learning with media in general, social media, mass media, if your goal is viewership and attention, there are right ways and wrong ways. People might get lucky and might make a social media video, but virality is no accident. It is a proven system concept. Just like creating a great Hollywood movie is a proven system, there is creativity to it. You can't just remake the same Top Gun movie over and over again. I mean, maybe you can. Actually, you
Look
probably
at,
can.
Fast and Furious, bro.
You know what?
Dude,
You're right.
They are doing it.
It's a proven concept, and people act like media isn't, or social media or podcasts are not. It's a proven concept. And I've gone 8 months ago, I had 500 subscribers on YouTube. 12 months ago, I had 400. A year and a half ago, 300. 2.5 years ago, 100. I had spent 2.5 years, maybe 2 years, growing my YouTube to get 500 subscribers. In the last 6 months, I have added 120,000 subscribers. I'm now at about 120 subs. And I'm adding about
job.
10K a week. Thank you.
10K a week now.
10K a week. Maybe 5K. Depends on the week.
That's a lot of people. Like,
It's a lot
to think
of
about how
people.
many people that is. One of the first concerts I went to in Kansas City, Missouri, it's called Rock Fest. And it's every summer. And I would go there in high school. And they talked about there's going to be 10,000 people. Like 10,000. And dude, that place was packed. Like you couldn't even use the restroom. There were so many people. Like, and they're just casually just dropping in on your channel and saying, yeah, man, I like this. I want to see more. That's cool, man.
Well, they're definitely not all saying that. Actually, a lot of them are saying a lot of really rude, hurtful things. But that's social media, and that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah,
here's what I think, dude. Every time I get a bad comment, which is often on social media, you get and there's only been one or two where I was like, oh damn, that was rough. But most of the times it's just idiots. Every time I get a shitty comment, I think their comments show YouTube that video is worth engaging on, which in turn YouTube says, wow, this is an engaging video. YouTube shows it to more people, and then more people engage, good or bad, and they show it to more. And that means every time I get a view, I make money on YouTube. I do. And every time somebody comes on and leaves a stupid comment, I literally think to myself, haha, you idiot, you just made me more money. I just say, keep it coming, baby. The haters pay me. Yeah, dude, they pay for my lifestyle.
That's awesome. I think about big YouTube, big YouTube, like
big YouTube, Google. Yeah.
They're instigating bullying. They're like, Devin's getting fucking roasted.
Show it to more people.
More people.
Yeah. But it's true, dude. Every hateful comment pays for my 17-foot boat out on the water here. Let's go.
Yeah, about to be a 30-foot boat. Let's go, baby.
Tell your friends, baby.
Yeah. I like that. Oh man, that's so cool. Dude, yeah, that's a lot of people, and it's growing. The haters. Yeah, my wife Kristen, dude, she popped off, and
she did.
It was by accident. Like she made one video on TikTok and woke up with 40,000 followers, like from like 400 to 40.
What was the video? What was the video?
Dude, like just some weird reaction video to like something sleep related, because she's a psychologist, and for some reason it hit the algorithm just right. And but dude, you got to be consistent, and there's a lot of haters, and it's like if you don't have your mindset towards this, like social media is going to be a scary place for the influencer that has something they can share with everybody but is intimidated by the negative feedback you get.
Yeah.
So,
well, dude, you and I used to cold call expired and for sale by owners. David and I would wake up. I'd wake up at 5 a.m. He'd wake up at 7 a.m. We would sit on the phones for hours, cold calling, getting hung up on, and getting told to fuck off. Most people were pretty chill, but so for us, no big deal,
dude. I was going to your house asking for problems. You know what I mean? Like, I'm knocking on your door. Hey, your house didn't sell. Like, what happened? Can I try? Like,
bro.
Yeah. I became immune to negativity. I didn't care. Like, none of that stuff phases me. anymore.
Yeah. Actually, dude, I was listening to this podcast. Jay Klaus, he has this Creator Academy account. It's actually really awesome for podcasters. And this guy was explaining how to do brand deals. And he was telling somebody that you need to do cold outreach to these brands, cold emails. And he goes, you can't be afraid to reach out to them. He goes, I had somebody reach out to a brand 4 times without response before they accepted them. Four unanswered reach outs. They were just ghosting them. And she said how she was so nervous and she felt like she was being rejected, but she felt good that she made that 4th attempt. And I was like, dude, four attempts? Dude, the world we come from, you need to call them every day for the rest of your life until they die. 4? Bro.
Like, that's like an afternoon for me.
Dude, I know.
Like,
and so it is cool that you and I just, I don't know how or why, but maybe real estate wasn't the boat that gets us to our mega wealth, but it built us into pretty indomitable people that can just, our skin, dude, you can't penetrate this.
yeah. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, 4 reach outs. Like, dude, I'll hit you 4 times before I hang up my phone. Like, I text you, added on Facebook, added your spouse, friended your mom, like,
Yeah.
and I looked up your address. And I'm
Friended your
over.
mom?
Yeah, like, like,
Hey,
what are
I'm
we
just
doing?
checking on
Like,
your son. Is he okay?
yeah, like, did he get a new number? You know? So I love
Dude,
that. Yeah,
that's
dude,
fantastic.
like, you know, the hustle early on, you look at people that turn, you know, small side hustles, they pivot to something and it fucking works after a couple of years of really doing it. That stuff's inspiring. And I just think to myself, I'm doing the same thing. And that's why it's super important. You just got to act fast on what you're doing and fail fast. Like, just get that out of the way. It's going to happen. So it's cool that we've done that a lot already. And
Yeah.
now things are just coming to us. Still working at it, but I
Yeah.
kind of know what to expect a little bit now, you know?
Yeah, it's
So.
easier. It's definitely easier than it was before.